Welcome to the Copperfield Electric Podcast.
It's great to be here.
You know, there's this very specific emotional arc to buying an electric vehicle that I don't think people really talk about. I call it the day two hangover.
The day two hangover. I like that. Okay, walk me through it.
Okay, so day one is all dealership. You're, looking at the torque specs, playing with that huge touchscreen. You're thinking about the tax credits.
You feel like you're in the future.
Totally. You drive it home, you pull into the driveway, and you feel like Captain Planet. It's a high.
It is a high.
But then day two hits.
Yeah.
You wake up, you look at the car, and you realize, wait a minute, I have to feel this thing. And suddenly that dusty old wall outlet next to your lawnmower looks completely inadequate.
And that is the moment. That's when reality crashes the party. We see it all the time. People buy the car of the future, but they bring it home to the electrical infrastructure of, 1995?
Exactly.
And that disconnect?
Yeah.
That's where all the headaches start.
Right. And you realize that figuring out how to charge this thing for the next 5, maybe 10 years wasn't even really on your radar. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to navigate the, surprisingly complex market of EV charger brands.
And we're not just looking for something that works.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy a cheap cable online that works for a month.
Sure.
We are looking for the best of list for long-term use. We're talking durability, performance, and, avoiding that buyer's remorse when your charger just melts 3 years from now.
Right. And to help us do this, we have a specific guide we're using. We're pulling insights and data provided by Copperfield Electric. Now, usually when we talk about companies, it's some massive faceless corporation, but these guys are hyper-local.
Yeah, they're a family-owned business right out of Tustin, California, specifically on Copperfield Drive, which I still think that's just excellent branding.
It's pretty handy when the street matches the business name, for sure. They're at 1581 Copperfield Drive. But, okay, beyond the geography, why are we trusting their take on this?
Because they're the ones who get the call when things go wrong. They are a licensed, bonded, and insured electrical contractor license number 10094740, for the record.
Oh.
And they serve all of Orange County. But, crucially, they operate 24 hours a day.
That 24-hour part really stood out to me. Why is that so critical for something like EV charging?
Well, think about it. When we talk about EV chargers, we're not talking about plugging in a toaster or a lamp.
Right.
We're talking about channeling a massive amount of continuous current into your home. It's basically heavy industrial work happening in a residential setting.
So if that goes wrong at 2:7 a.m.
Exactly. Or if your panel overheats, you don't want a call center. You want a background-checked expert electrician who can be there, immediately.
That makes total sense. It's really about safety as much as it is convenience. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this. I've got their definitive guide to long-term home EV charger brands here, and it starts with a premise I think most people just miss: the difference between a cheap charger and a real long-term investment.
It really just comes down to 3 pillars. If you want a charger that's going to survive your current car and be ready for your next one, you need to look at 3 things: charging speed, connectivity, and durability.
Let's break those down, because speed feels a little subjective. My phone charges fast, but that means an hour. What does speed mean for a 4,000-pound car?
Well, first we have to talk about level 1 versus level 2 charging. Level 1 is what you were talking about in your intro, plugging into a standard 120-volt wall outlet.
The lawnmower outlet.
The lawnmower outlet, exactly. Technically, that gives you about 1.4 kilowatts of power. To put that in perspective, that's maybe 3 to 5 miles of range per hour.
So if I drive 50 miles in a day, I'd need to charge for, 10 hours?
Roughly, yes. And if you have a Tesla long range or a truck with a 300-mile battery, you could be looking at days to get a full charge from empty. It's a trickle charge. It's okay for emergencies, but as a daily lifestyle, it's painful.
Okay, so level 2 is the standard we're aiming for.
Correct. Level 2 bumps you up to 240 volts, the same kind of power your dryer or oven uses. Now, instead of 3 miles an hour, you're adding 25, 30, maybe even 40 miles of range per hour.
Oh, wow.
You plug in at 7 p.m., you're full by midnight. It turns charging from a constant worry into a background task.
That seems like a non-negotiable then. Okay, pillar 2 is connectivity. I have to play devil's advocate here a bit. I have a smart fridge, a smart doorbell. Do I really need my car charger to have Wi-Fi? Or is this just a way to charge me an extra $200?
I was skeptical at first, too. It feels like tech creep. But in the energy world, knowledge really is money. Connectivity gives you 2 critical things: monitoring and scheduling.
Scheduling, I get, making sure it's ready by morning.
Well, it's more than just being ready. It's about when you draw the power. A lot of utility companies, especially here in California, have time of use plans where electricity is super cheap at 2 a.m., but really expensive at 6 p.m.
Peak hours, right?
Exactly. A dumb charger just starts pulling power the second you plug it in,
Yeah.
which is probably right when you get home at 6 p.m. when rates are highest. A connected charger is smart. It waits until those cheap rates kick in automatically
So it literally pays for itself.
over the life of the car. Oh, absolutely. Plus, monitoring lets you see exactly how many kilowatt hours you're using. Helps you budget. You can't manage what you don't measure.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm sold on the smarts. And the third pillar, durability. Is this just about it not falling apart if I accidentally drop it?
It's more about thermal cycling and environmental stress. I mean, you're pushing really high amperage through copper wires for hours at a time. That creates heat.
And cheap parts don't like heat.
Cheap components degrade under that heat.
Yeah.
And the connector itself, the guide mentions the industry standard. J1772, you're plug-in, unplugging that thing thousands of times.
Yeah.
If the build is flimsy, the latch breaks, pins corrode,
Yeah.
and suddenly you have a very expensive brick on your wall. You want industrial grade.
Okay, so speed, which is level 2, smarts, which is the Wi-Fi, and strength, which is the build quality. That's our criteria. Now let's get specific. The guide lists what it calls the titans of charging. I want to walk through these because they seem to have different personalities.
They really do. There's no single perfect charger. But there is a perfect charger for your specific situation.
First up is the ChargePoint Home Flex. The guide calls this the flexible star. Why flex?
Well, the name refers to its amperage flexibility. You can actually set this unit to run anywhere from 16 amps all the way up to 50 amps.
Why would I ever want to run it at 16 amps? I want all the speed, right?
Usually, yes. But let's say you live in an older home. Your electrical panel might be limited. You might not have the room for a massive 50-amp circuit without tripping the main breaker. The ChargePoint lets you install it today at a lower, safer amperage.
And then you can turn it up later if you upgrade your panel.
Precisely. It grows with the house. It also comes with what's called a NEMA 1450 plug.
Okay, what is a NEMA 1450?
It's that standard, heavy-duty 4-prong outlet, the kind you'd see for an electric range or a dryer. Because the ChargePoint just plugs in rather than needing to be hardwired, the installation can be faster and, well, cheaper for the electrician. It's a very user-friendly starting point.
In the app.
It's widely considered the gold standard. It's clean, it's intuitive, it gives you all that data we talked about without needing an engineering degree to figure it out.
Okay, so that's the safe, flexible bet. Next, we have the Emporia Pro. The specs on this one just jumped out at me. 19.2 kilowatts. That sounds aggressive.
It is a powerhouse. Most standard chargers top out around 11 kilowatts. The Emporia can push 48 amps, even up to 80 in some configurations. But raw power isn't the only reason you'd buy it.
What's the other reason?
Solar integration. This is the eco connection. If you have solar panels on your roof, the Emporia system is designed to talk directly to them.
Meaning what, exactly?
Meaning it can dynamically adjust how fast it's charging to match your solar production. If your panels are generating a ton of excess power at noon, the charger tells the car, hey, take this free energy now.
Wow, so you're literally driving on sunshine.
That's the idea. It closes the loop on green energy. If you're someone who bought an EV strictly for environmental reasons or to be energy independent, Emporia is the one to beat.
Okay, next on the list, the Juicebox 40. I have to say, Juicebox sounds like something for a kid's lunch, but the description calls it the tank.
It's a great contrast, isn't it? The Juicebox 40 has built its reputation on being rugged. This is the charger you buy if you don't have a garage.
Right, because a lot of people, especially in California, parking in driveways or carports.
Exactly. So if your equipment is going to be exposed to UV rays, rain, coastal fog, heat waves, you need a weather-sealed enclosure. The Juicebox is designed for that. It gives you 40 amps, which is plenty fast, but its real superpower is that it can just take a beating.
And looking at the price comparisons, it seems to be one of the more affordable options for that kind of durability.
Yes, it hits a very nice sweet spot. Price, performance, and toughness. It's a workhorse.
No. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. The Tesla wall connector.
The ecosystem choice.
If I have a Tesla, is it just stupid to buy anything else?
Stupid is a strong word, but it's certainly less convenient. The Tesla wall connector is designed to integrate seamlessly. You press the button on the handle, the charge port on your car just pops open. It's that Apple-like, it just works philosophy.
And the performance.
Oh, top tier. It offers 48 amps hardwired. That's pretty much the limit of what most home onboard chargers can even accept. It's very, very fast.
But what if I have a Tesla now and I buy a Rivian or Ford next year? Am I stuck with a proprietary brick on my wall?
That used to be the big fear. But with the whole industry shifting toward Tesla's plug, the NACS standard, that's becoming less and less of an issue. And there are adapters, but yes, you buy this for the seamless Tesla experience.
Okay, finally, we have the Wallbox Pulsar Plus. This thing looks tiny in the photos. It's like a little square coaster.
Smart compact is the category. It's shockingly small compared to the others. But don't let the size fool you. It can still pump out 48 amps if you hardwire it.
So why choose this one? Just to save some wall space?
Space is one factor, but the Wallbox really shines with its software. It has very detailed energy usage tracking and something called power sharing.
Power share.
If you have two EVs and two Wallboxes, they can actually talk to each other to make sure they don't overload your main breaker.
Oh, so they split the available power between them.
Exactly. If the house is using a lot of energy, they'll throttle down. If the house goes quiet, they ramp up. For a multi-EV household, that kind of smart management is a game changer.
Okay, so we have the flexible ChargePoint, the Solar Expert Emporia, the rugged juice box, the integrated Tesla, and the smart wall box. I feel like I'm educated. I'm ready to go on Amazon, click add to cart, and, invite my neighbor over to help me screw it into the wall. I walked right into that one, didn't I?
You really did. And this is where the deep dive takes a very serious turn. Because the charger itself, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the visible part. The real work, the important work, happens behind the drywall.
This is the section the guide calls the invisible requirement, electrical capacity.
Correct. And this is where the real safety risks come in. You can buy that Tesla wall connector and set it to 48 amps. But 48 amps is a massive continuous load.
Give me a comparison. What else in my house even uses 48 amps?
Nothing. Not continuously. Your AC unit might spike there for a split second, but then it settles down. An electric oven might use 30. Your EV charger is like running an oven at full blast for 6 to 8 hours straight, every single night.
So if I live in a house that was built in, say, 1970...
If your house was built in 1970, your main electrical panel is probably rated for 100 amps total for the entire house.
So I have the lights on, the TV's going, the fridge ticks on, the AC starts up, and then I plug in the car.
And best case, the main breaker trips and the whole house goes dark. Worst case, if you have old wiring or a degraded panel, you generate heat. Resistance builds up. That is a serious fire hazard. The guide is very blunt. Plugging a high-powered unit into an inadequate system is dangerous.
It's like trying to put a fire hose nozzle on a garden hose. The plumbing just can't...
That's a perfect analogy. The plumbing can't take the pressure. Buying the charger is step one. Step two is making sure your home's vanes, the copper wires and the panel, can handle the new heart you're trying to install.
And I'm guessing this is not a DIY job?
Oh, absolutely not. This is high voltage work. You need load calculations. You need to see if panel upgrades are required. Maybe you have to go from 100 amps to 200 amps. Maybe you need a dedicated sub-panel.
Which brings us full circle, right back to Copperfield Electric. Yeah. Because this is exactly what they do.
This is their bread and butter. We said they're in Tustin, but their service area is huge. Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Mission Viejo, basically the entire Orange County map.
And from what I read, they take a whole system approach. They're not just there to mount the plastic box on the wall.
No, they handle the whole ecosystem. They do the panel upgrades, they check the grounding, they troubleshoot the wiring. If you buy that Emporia Pro, but your panel is from 1980, Copperfield Electric is the team that comes in and says, okay, to make this safe, we need to upgrade this bus bar or replace this breaker.
They had one policy that I really respected, their honesty policy.
Yeah, that's rare in the trades sometimes.
It says they only diagnose a problem if one truly exists.
Right. They're not trying to upsell you on a phantom repair.
Yeah.
In the electrical world, it's pretty easy to scare a homeowner into buying things they don't need. Copperfield's philosophy is that troubleshooting should save you money by fixing the actual root cause, not by selling you a whole new system if you don't need it.
That peace of mind is huge, especially when you combine it with that 24/7 emergency service we mentioned.
Think about it. You've got a road trip planned for the morning. It's 5 a.m. You go to the garage, and the charger is dead. Or worse, a breaker is buzzing. You can't wait for business hours on Monday. You need someone who picks up the phone right then.
You need someone licensed who knows what they're doing.
Exactly. And Copperfield offers that 247 reliability, whether it's charger malfunction, a lighting failure, or a total panel blackout.
And again, they back it up. 100% satisfaction guarantee, background check technicians. It feels like they're trying to professionalize an industry that can sometimes feel a bit like the Wild West.
In the world of high voltage work, you should never settle for less than licensed, bonded, and insured. It's just not worth the risk.
So let's wrap this up for the listener holding that EV brochure. What's the big takeaway here?
The takeaway is that the car is only half of the equation. Choosing a great brand like ChargePoint or Tesla is important, yes. You want those smart features. But the real investment is in your home's infrastructure. You have to verify your capacity.
Don't just buy the gadget, build the system.
Exactly. Treat your home like a fueling station, because that's what it's becoming.
Well, for our listeners in Southern California, if you want to stop worrying about the install and just enjoy the car, you know who to call. Copperfield Electric can be reached at 626-622-9694, or you can visit them in Tustin.
They really do make it simple.
I love their slogan. You've got enough worries, let us take care of the lights. That pretty much sums it all up.
It does.
Before we sign off, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. You mentioned the Emporia integrating with solar and the wall box doing that smart energy tracking.
Yes.
It feels like we're moving toward a world where our homes aren't just, places we sleep anymore.
That is the fascinating part to me. As we move towards solar integration and battery storage and smart EV scheduling, are our homes becoming not just shelters, but our own personal power plants?
And if they're a personal power plant,
Then we need to start maintaining them like power plants. It's a real shift in mindset from homeowner to energy manager.
something to think about the next time you plug in. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive with Copperfield Electric.
Drive safe, everyone.